Zadrizes Bustaris Costau.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? Just kidding. Hey, in this video, I'm gonna be doing something I ain't done in like a month. Answering you all's questions. Please do me a massive favor and slap a like on this video. The like goal is gonna be 420, and then also turn those notifications all the way on. If you're willing to like this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Lastly, consider checking out my Patreon. If you want a little bit more content and you wonder why I haven't been uploading this month, it's because I upload almost just as frequently on this little thing called Patreon. You can join for just a couple of dollars and you'll immediately gain access to about 24 hours of content that is exclusive to that platform. Like my new hair? Cut! My life in 2 pieces! First comment comes from username Frenchy1742, and she is actually a patron of mine. Thank you for all your support. You mentioned Emma is Rhaenyra. I just hope they fix the writing in certain aspects. Right, so there was some questionable writing choices in season 1, but mostly they had to do with when the show broke canon. But that was in response, Frenchy's comment was in response to a poll that I did. And if you're unaware, I do polls every few days, right? Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're controversial topics. I just want to gauge the fandom for an upcoming video or just, some ideas I'm thinking of, right? So that was a response to a poll that I did of which version do you prefer? Do you prefer Emma Darcy, Rhaenyra incumbent, right? The Rhaenyra we will know for the rest of the series, or do you prefer, like I've noticed the people that have this opinion are more so the casual show watcher, like they probably never read Fire and Blood or never listened to any podcast like mine about the show or anything like that, right? They'll say, oh, they prefer the chemistry that Millie Alcock had with Matt Smith, but then not realizing, right, that obviously Rhaenyra will have teenage sons, and those sons are the ones who play the biggest role in later seasons until, well, really her arc concludes. Like, her sons are going to be the ones out there doing stuff on dragons, right? Rhaenyra kind of is a ruler, and a ruler doesn't always get their hands dirty, but when she dons the black mail and flies across the Blackwater Bay and takes King's Landing halfway through season 2, it's going to be amazing, right? But before that, her sons will need to be a certain age, right, on screen, so you can't have that. So that was a response too. So obviously, I agree with that sentiment that Emma Darcy is Rhaenyra. They were chosen for the main part of it. Like right now, it's been 5 episodes. Millie Alcock, 5 episodes. Emma Darcy, but Emma Darcy is literally going to be the Rhaenyra for the rest of the series. So in knowing that, I lean towards the one who's going to, even though I thoroughly enjoyed Millie Alcock's performance. I'd never heard of her before the series, and she did an amazing job. Same with Emma Darcy. Then the next question comes from a username, Dennis Sorensen. He just says, Sir Hunts, ! Fire and blood emoji. Thank you for that. Dennis is a longtime supporter of mine, patron of mine. Donated to the GoFundMe that I have for a laptop that will make videos more frequently once I do hit that goal. Like, there were several people that donated to that. But Dennis, thank you, man, for your support. Hopefully you watch this and this, cheers you up. The next comment is from a username, Diku Ujiha. I like that username, buddy. I don't know, I've told you a couple of times. 9990. And they said, I believe the wall stops all magic from crossing. That's why Alysanne's dragon wouldn't go past. Alysanne's dragon being Silverwing. Or, so that's how I understood it. I can't remember if the warged bird that bursts into flames actually crossed the wall. Right, so addressing the last part, there's a bird that the wildlings are literally just first men that were on the wrong side of the wall when it was put up, right? So they have all of those abilities that were passed on to them from the Children of the Forest, warging being one of them. So in the Song of Ice and Fire books, in A Feast for Crows, when Stannis gets to the wall, Melisandre's with him, obviously, and he saves Jon and the Castle Black and all that. It's a lot more intense in the books, too, right? But there's this bird that Melisandre burst into flames. She literally burns this bird. It's through, she probably has an alchemical process where she threw something in the air and the bird ran into it and then burst into flames or something. The only reason why I say that is because in Melisandre's POV, you realize that she's not as magical as she thinks. She realizes that in order to have more power, have the most power, you need to add some mysteriousness to your magical abilities and make herself seem more powerful than she actually is. So I believe it was probably some sort of, like, if I had to guess, like pyrite or something, some medieval fantasy version of pyrite that blew the bird up. But as far as Diku Yuju is saying that all magic is stopped, no, only certain types of magic. For instance, Melisandre herself, her magic is increased tenfold when she's at the wall. Daenerys brought back dragons, so that's obviously why Melisandre and other fire priests and priestesses and fire mages over in Essos are getting more powerful. But ultimately, the wall itself inhibits magic, right? So it doesn't block all magic. It makes certain magic more powerful. So you could argue that Melisandre is serving the Great Other, and that's why her magic is increased at the wall. But I think the only reason why Alysanne's dragon Silverwing didn't take her north of the wall is because there was currently White Walkers that were nearby. Alysanne is by herself. Silverwing is very intelligent. Dragons are as intelligent or more intelligent than humans. That's why she didn't fly north of the wall. Now, as far as the wall blocking all magic, I can't get down with that statement just because the wall itself is built out of magic, so it repels certain types of magic, the undead, right? We know for a fact, right, that Cold Hands can't pass through the wall, and the magic that brought him back is the same magic that was used on the White Walkers. So I'm kind of pulling some stuff from the TV show. So I just feel like that magic in particular that's used to, like, all of the warding protection of the wall is to defend it from the other. So any undead creature. Melisandre herself is alive. Her power is increased, so it doesn't block all magic, in my opinion. Then the next comment, thank you for leaving that, Diku Ujiha. The next comment is from a username mentalskate6746. They said, this was in response, I asked 3 different questions. I said, tell me your favorite dragon, tell me your favorite characters, and then I said, tell me when you think House of the Dragon's going to be coming out, right? So this user, Mental Skate, said their favorite dragon is Caraxes, their 2 favorite characters are Daemon and Aemond, right? And then they think House of the Dragon will be coming out in summer 2024. But thank you for leaving that. Those are really good choices. My favorite dragon is obviously Caraxes. 2 of my favorite characters are in Fire and Blood, Daemon and Aemond, and then obviously on the TV show. So we agree there. Thank you for your support. I hope you watch this video. And this next comment comes from a user named JMJ6366, and they said, I love the spoilers. They seem pretty legit, or at the very least would be cool, but I'm not really liking the Sarah seduction and is a green seer. I don't know. I don't want it to really be a seduction, but more like the Harwin Rhaenyra we never got to see. So this user, JMJ, thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for watching that video, is responding to a video that I did with Jace and Cregan and that plotline in Winterfell. So someone sent me some information, and I always mention in all of those videos, take it with a grain of salt, because it's probably bullshit. Nothing is confirmed until it airs on our screens. Even things we see in the trailer, like even episode trailers, they cut scenes all the time, so nothing is confirmed until you are watching the final cut of the episode on the Sunday at 9 when it was officially released, right? So, I agree that it would be cool to see something we didn't get to see, which was Harwin and Rhaenyra's relationship through Jace and Cregan. It will be something like that. Sarah Snow, I'm interested to see that plot line, but I agree in the sense that it would, well, in my opinion, it would add to the story if Sarah Snow was a warg, right? Also, it just makes sense, you know, Starks have that ability. For instance, all of Ned Stark's children have that ability. Not every single Stark gets them, but I would say that there are a couple of wargs born every generation to Starks, and we know Cregan isn't one, so that's why, you know, that person probably included that bit about Sarah being a warg. But it would be interesting to see what goes down with if the Pact of Ice and Fire is real according to Mushroom's version, and what happens in Fire and Blood, and then Cregan and Jace are, you know, married in the Godswood under a weirwood tree. That would be really interesting. I can't wait till season 2 gets here. Thank you for leaving that comment, JMJ. And the next one is from a user named Eric Murray 3661, and they said, this painting is no joke, bro. Damn. Exactly. That right there. That is the Daemon painting. And if you want to know who the artist is Jay Fox on Instagram. I follow them. I often post pictures of me and Daemon and the painting, right, in my stories and tag the artist all the time. I follow him on Instagram. Please go follow him. Ask him for some work. He's I know he takes commissions. I don't know if he's currently taking commissions right now, but he's very talented. A lot of people think that the painting itself is a photograph that's imposed onto like a canvas. No, that's all hand painted. That's just how he does his style of artwork. He makes them look like, I guess it would be photorealistic. But thank you for leaving that comment, Eric Murray. I'm glad you appreciate that Damon painting. Like I said, that artist is Jay Fox over on Instagram. They're out of the UK. The next comment comes from username Forrest Burns, and they are a channel member here on YouTube. If you're unaware, you can join and be a channel member and watch all of my videos ad-free. And every week when I do a live stream, I post a poll. I leave it up for about 24 hours. Not a poll, a thing where you can submit topics to have them addressed on my live streams that I do weekly. But Forrest Burns says, thank you for your support, buddy. They said the top moment in GOT was the fight between Oberyn and the Mountain. Can't even begin to go over top moment in the books. Like, there's so many good moments in the books. Forrest couldn't pick just one. I agree. That fight between Pedro Pascal and Thor Bjornsson, the actor playing the Mountain. He's like the third actor that played the Mountain in Game of Thrones show, and then Oberyn is played by Pedro. It is one of the best choreographed fights out of anything. I hope when we get the Cargill duel between the twins, right? I hope Luke and Elliot Tittenser, right? I hope that's their name. That's the actor's names. They follow me on Instagram. I hope they take some choreography notes from that, because that is like not just an intense and the best fight scene in pretty much all of Game of Thrones next to Arya and Breanne when they're training. I know a lot of people don't like that scene, but I do. Is the Mountain fighting, but also for TV. So I hope they take notes for that. I agree with that. Thank you, Forrest Burns, for your support. The next comment, one of the last ones I'm going to be doing, or actually this is the last comment for this video. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. Is from Divine Sharika, and I'll probably name the video after this. Divine Sharika 1349 is the username. Thank you. You're always one of the first couple comments on my videos. You do art as well. I'm not sure if you posted any content on your username here on YouTube, but you can go and if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are, link your Instagram down below in the comment section so people can go follow you as well. This person does like Lord of the Rings art in Game of Thrones characters profiles. But they said Lord Hunts 100. Jim, the set builder for House of the Dragon, said the pre-production is already underway, which also suggests that the scripts are already done because Jim works with the scripts. So I'm extremely excited that the second season is coming together. Exactly. So Ewan Mitchell, my buddy Robert from Indie Geek corrected me on saying that I was always saying Ewan, which is really funny, like Ewok, right? That's how it's spelled in American English. Anyway, Ewan Mitchell said in a recent interview that filming was going to take 8 months. So it's awesome that filming is going to start sooner than March, right? Like, that's the official start of it. But since they're having sets built, they're doing costume fittings. Like Ewan Mitchell mentioned that he had fittings for his blonde wig. There's an article that came out a few weeks ago. It was the first interview that he's done since the show came out. He's a really private dude. He doesn't have a social media. And I can respect that because fans are crazy. They say stupid, silly things to some of the actors that do have social media. It's just crazy that one would think to do some of the things or say some of the things that these people do. But that's really exciting. Divine Sharika, that's awesome. Jim is the set builder. He was the guy that was always being interviewed in the behind-the-scenes episodes, in particular when they had the Returning to Westeros featurette. I'll try to play that for you right now. Since he is working, obviously Ryan Condal's the showrunner. Ryan Condal probably started working on the scripts as soon as the show was greenlit for season 2, if not before then, which you got to remember was in between the second episode airing, in between the first and second episodes airing. That was back in August. So they've been working on it since then. And also, to be honest, it should not take as long to write a script for Game of Thrones as it does for House of the Dragon. For one, because there's less characters in the show, but also Fire and Blood is finished. So we know exactly where these characters are. And I guarantee you in the initial filming process and production process for the series, they worked out most of the arcs for where characters will be by the end of a season. So season 2 writing shouldn't take that long. So hopefully this cheered you up like it cheered me up, making the video rather. Thank you all so much for watching. Please slap a like on this video. Like goal is going to be 420. And also, like I said, consider checking out my Patreon. You can join for just a few dollars and you immediately will gain access to over 24 hours of exclusive content that's only available there. And in those videos, and in that content, in the audio podcast and in the videos, I'm myself. I get to say whatever I want. I get to do whatever I want. It's just something I'm not able to do here on YouTube. So if you're a really big fan of mine, consider joining my Patreon. If not, thank you for watching, because that's the best thing you could do. Not sa trisas pustari, Ixos, daor.